Well, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, and I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening on the Talk and Sip Saturday night. Talk and Sip Saturday night, and as you can see behind me there, you can see a couple drinks. Sean Brown, thank you for joining me. Elizabeth on TikTok. Um, for those on also Instagram, Amy Fanny, Jacqueline Flick. Jacqueline, I don't know where you are. You're always somewhere in the world. So maybe you're going to be in the UK or so. Uh, well, listen, this is a great Saturday evening. And this Saturday evening in the UK, it's been wet, wet, wet. I always like to say that even though it is wet, um, it doesn't make a big difference still, really. I always like to treat each day as, what should I say, a good day. Many people will say that it's a terrible day. The weather is crazy. The weather is terrible. But I like to say that the weather is great, no matter what. We thank God for each day. We thank God for each time we are able to breathe. This morning I was walking in the park, and you know, rain caught me. And I was standing under some of the bushes in um, the depths of the woods. No dogs were rushing me or anything like that. But what was very interesting also about walking in the park early in the morning that time, and what was very interesting is the fact that I was sort of covered by the trees, you know, covered by um, the protection of the trees, protecting me from the rain. And I thought about it for a second, and I said, hang on a second, you know, the trees are the shade of the trees, which when it's hot, it protects you. The trees and the leaves, they also protect you when it is raining. And then it dawned on me, the message I got for today, this was the message I got. Who protects you? Or what is your protection when it becomes wet in your life? And when I say becomes wet, when things start to change, when there's financial implications, relationship devastations, death, and all these different things, job loss, where is that protection? And then that sort of dawned on me as to say, what is the protection? And that was my message really this morning. What is your protection? And I posted on Instagram, and I also posted on different sites as well. What is your protection? So in every situation, no matter what it is, there's always a powerful message. Definitely. So what are you drinking tonight? Well, I'm going just really healthy in a way. Just having, well, even though I drink the wine, it is still healthy, but I'm just having a orange juice. Yeah, orange juice. And and some sparkling water if anything. And of course, if you want to join, there are ways you can join. You can join by a link as well, and especially for the discussion. Well, the topic tonight is from black gold to growth, the benefit of oil to Jamaica, and specifically Jamaicans. And I tell you why that is so. Because over the years, there are things which are benefiting Jamaica. We got tourism, we got different things, but the question is, does it benefit directly Jamaicans directly? And therefore, the advent of oil being found in Jamaica, whether it is or not, but in preparation for such, will the people benefit directly? That's a big question. That's a big question for tonight. Let's go. When I was thinking about this, and And when I was thinking about oil and thinking about countries where oil is very prominent in, and the benefit of oil, I had to sort of do go into a sort of research in a way, because I strongly believe that we have got to be so very focused. And when I say very focused, I'm talking about especially for Jamaica and also for Jamaicans at this time. Got to be so very focused as to in the eventuality of something phenomenal happened. The BBC alert there. Wonder what does that mean? German police raid a refuge. Yeah. If oil is found in Jamaica, it could significantly, as they say, benefit the people and the economy in several ways. In several ways. Economic growth and revenue generation boost to the GDP. Oil production could substantially increase Jamaica's GDP, gross domestic product, making the country wealthier overall. Revenue generated from oil exports would contribute to the national income, allowing the government to invest more in public service and infrastructure. The operative word, which I see right here, is government. Diversification of the economy. Jamaica's economy, which currently relies heavily on tourism, agriculture, remittance, could be diversified with the addition of the oil industry. This diversification could reduce economic vulnerability in global shocks in other sectors. You know, think about that. And as we continue further, um, job creation and skill development. Yeah, job creation and skill development, which is benefiting directly the people. Employment opportunities. The development of an oil industry would create thousands of jobs, both directly in oil exploration, drilling, and refining, and then on the basis that they don't import people, but giving Jamaicans opportunity, and indirectly in related sectors such as transportation, construction, and services. Skill enhancement. With the introduction of the oil industry, there would be a demand for skilled labor. This could lead to investments in education and training program to equip Jamaicans with the necessary skills, enhancing the overall workforce capability. Energy independence and lower costs. Reduce energy costs. Oil production could reduce Jamaica's reliance on imported oil, therefore take a not a major effect on foreign exchange, which is currently a significant expense. Locally produced oil could lower energy costs for consumers and business, leading to a lower cost of living and increased competitiveness for Jamaican industries. Remind me of JPS here. Many people are saying JPS is giving people a warm time in Jamaica as well. There must be some sort of energy come from that. Domestic oil production would increase energy security by reducing dependence on foreign oil, shielding the country from volatile global oil prices and supply disruptions. Yeah. And going further, infrastructure development. Yeah. Revenue from oil could be used to um, im- improve Jamaica's infrastructure, including roads, ports, and public transportation. Better infrastructure would enhance productivity and quality of life. Enhanced public services. All well could also be allocated to improve healthcare, education, and social services, directly benefiting the population and helping to reduce poverty and inequality. Social and economic development as well. And it goes further. Poverty reduction. And in a way, if oil, as they say, is found in Jamaica, it has a potential to bring significant economic benefits, create jobs, reduce energy cost, and improve public services, leading to overall national prosperity. Prosperity. But this potential can only be realized with careful management, environmental protection, and fair distribution of the resulting wealth. Now, my thinking in regards to this, and ladies and gentlemen, please share this live. Also, my thinking in regards to this is, I believe in 1962, when Jamaica became, or the road to independence started, I like to say the road to independence started. I don't like to claim to say it's independent. I don't think Jamaica is an independent country, as long as you're swearing allegiance to a foreign power. As long as you're swearing allegiance to the King of England, then you're not independent. But the process of independence started, whereby you remove the Union Jack and you put up the Jamaican flag. But it was more, in a sense, I would say symbolic to a certain extent. I believe at a time when that transition took place, there should have been a real process of distribution of lands, right? I believe there should be a massive distribution of lands to Jamaicans, right? Those are one of my thoughts. I believe there should be a massive distribution of lands. I don't know what you think. Tell me if you think about that. Or do you believe that it should be held up in UDC, Urban Development Corporation, and the government sort of having that control? I believe there should have been a redistribution, not even a redistribution, a distribution of lands to the people of Jamaica. That's what I believe fundamentally should have taken place. So therefore, in the possibility and in the advent, thank you for saying you agree to me there on TikTok. Yeah. If there's oil, how do you think the profits of the oil should be distributed? You know, should have been done from 1962. Totally agree. And here's an opportunity. Guyana recently had oil, and it created a major boost to the economy. But something I was thinking about with other countries, yeah, what countries that have oil give profits directly to the people? Yeah. Should the profits or some aspect of the profits give it directly to the people? Give it to taxpayers? Because for so long, a lot of things have just been caught up, I would say, in the hands of the government. And if you vote out the government, you still get the government. And therefore, you always ask yourself the question, who is speaking up for the people? Who is defending the rights of the people? Who is ensuring that the people get a right deal and not a raw deal? And if they get a raw deal, how can get the right deal? When we think about the whole aspect, and I've been hearing a lot of things coming through in regards to Jamaica Public Service, and now Jamaica Public Service said they failed and they forgot to tell people that there's an increase. But then people are saying after Hurricane Beryl, what was happening is that they were still getting major bills, big bills, and they never had lights. People weren't at their homes. Many people always talk about they're not at their homes, and yet they get big bills. Those on TikTok, do like and share the video. But I want to have this conversation, and I want to have this conversation by people writing in, and people I don't have the phone in thing. People writing in and let me hear what you say, and I'll be reading comments. He used the oil money to give his citizens from housing and free education to universities. Now, who is that? Who did that? Yeah. Now, thank you for those for watching me on Facebook, and thanks for those watching on TikTok as well. Not watching me, but listening and getting involved with the discussion. What countries? Let's look at this. What countries help their citizens directly? And should Jamaica help its citizens directly? Right? What countries have given profits directly to the people? Several countries with significant resources have implemented policies to distribute a portion of oil profits directly to their citizens. These programs vary in structure, but the common goal is to ensure that the wealth generated from natural resources benefit the general population. Norway, let's look at Norway for argument's sake. Government Pension Fund Global, also known as the Norwegian Oil Fund. This is one of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world. The Norwegian government invests all revenues into the fund, which is managed to generate long-term returns. While profits aren't directly handed out as cash to citizens, the fund supports the national budget and ensure that future generations benefit from today's oil wealth. The fund's return contribute to public spending, including welfare, education, and healthcare. That's one thing that they do with Norway. Because and the key thing that Norway said, this is what Norway said. We've got to somehow think about the future generation, prepare for the future generation. Because we have seen so many times, and even so many people are talking even about bauxite, for argument's sake, in Jamaica. Bauxite, which has been, see the red dirt and everything like that, but it's Jamaica hasn't benefited in a very significant way from the natural resources, right? The natural resources, as a matter of fact, one of the key natural resources are the people and protecting the people. And I can't keep going back and harping back to 1962, where I believe there's a raw deal. And the raw deal is whereby things are transferred over back into the hands of the bourgeoisie, and then the people, which we call the plebs, if anything like that, had to scrimmage and weren't able to get on the ladder. And I believe now is opportune time. But people have been distracted. It baffles me. And I'm totally baffled. And I'm sure you might be baffled as well, especially for those in Jamaica, especially with JPS, Jamaica Public Service, how they just get away with these things. The illicit 6 or illicit 8. People just get away with things. And the new thrust and the new deal or the whole discussion about Jamaica becoming a republic, and also they're talking about the government or the CRC committee is talking about what you call a ceremonial president, and nobody is, well, maybe people are making noise, but somehow they are just very silent, and shut down. Not even the citizens that are adversely affected by bauxite mining get any benefit. There we are. Not even the citizens that are advised, So let's go now to the second place now. And the whole essence of my discussion and these is for us to be awakened to the reality and to the powers that we have and should be utilizing. Not getting carried away with America. Not getting carried away with American, Kamala Harris and all those sort of things. These guys don't really better the first black woman or whatever like that. It's doing better. We're just talking about economy. People getting carried away with Vibes Cartel and all, no disrespect. But therefore, there's so much of these sort of distractions, but we've got to really get down to the nitty-gritty as to how collectively people can be empowered. Alaska, United States. Alaska Permanent Fund Dividend, PFD, established in 1976. The Alaska Permanent Fund invests a portion of the state's oil revenues. Every year, the fund distributes a dividend to all eligible Alaska residents. The fund distributes a dividend to all eligible Alaska residents. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm trying to say, and for any Jamaicans, and you share this for any Jamaicans who are there, what I'm saying right here now is this: preparing ourselves and prepare yourself for the eventuality if there's oil and if there's gold. So therefore, it doesn't come on like a thief in the night. Many people are saying that they never know about this thing. And I'm going to read something about what the paper said. Alaska, yeah. The amount varies each year, but typically ranges from a few hundred to a few $1,000s per person. This is one of the most well-known examples of direct profit sharing from oil revenues, right? Direct. This is going directly to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, directly to the people. Can you hear me? Directly to the people. Speak to your relatives, speak to your family, speak to those in Jamaica. Let's get it directly, you know. Nelma Murray. Hi, Sandy Bradshaw. Hi, Sean Brown. Real talk. Please, guys, let's share this video. Let's get it going. Let's go on for the discussion. Got a wealth of information here. So therefore, we now move from Alaska. And if anybody have any other information, do let me know. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Sharon Foster. Good. Kuwait Investment Authority, KIA. The KIA manages the country's sovereign wealth fund, which is funded by oil revenues. While Kuwait doesn't distribute cash directly to citizens, the wealth generated by the fund supports a wide range of social service, including free healthcare, education, and subsidized housing. Now that's directly benefit. Free healthcare, right? Free education and subsidized housing. The government also provides generous public sector employment, pensions, and other benefits that indirectly distribute all wealth to the population. Think about that for a second. And is it just for taxpayers? Would you say it's only for taxpayers? And it goes and you portion it accordingly? No way, it shouldn't be. It should be for every single Jamaican. Everyone under the sound of my voice, every single Jamaican should be benefiting directly. You know, and so we got United. You got that's benefit there in Kuwait. Yes, that's benefit there in Kuwait. Now, United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi. You see, a good friend of mine, and what he said to me some time ago, he said Jamaica is poised in a very strategic position to be a major hub as we go on in this century. Major hub. We've got to recognize that. But the major hub should not be a benefit only to the politicians and only to those up there. It should be a sweep right through to the people of Jamaica. Now I'm in the diaspora. I'm in the UK, right? And I'm not in Jamaica. But there's one thing that I understand from people in Jamaica. What they'll say many times is that they find it very difficult sometimes to speak upon certain issues, because if they speak upon it, they could be targets. And unfortunately, the government is a major employer, and therefore, if you're going to rock the boat certain ways, it may affect them. So therefore, those in the diaspora, those who can speak with a voice, have got to lend their voice to others out there who are maybe speechless. Be the voice that speak up for persons. Be the voice that be an advocate for others. United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi Authority. Let me see this. Yeah. Abu Dhabi Authority. Let me just check something. Yeah, that's benefit there in Kuwait. Yeah. The Abu Dhabi Authority says here, the wealthiest emirate in the UAE. I don't understand this. Can I get some translation right here? Balmunda. Okay, get some translation there. The wealthiest emirate in the UAE manages its oil revenues through the ADIA. While there isn't a direct cash distribution, Citizens benefit from extensive social care welfare programs, including free education, healthcare, and housing. Additionally, Emirati citizens receive various subsidies and financially support that is indirectly tied to the country's wealth. So, what we are seeing is a direct benefit, right? A direct benefit of oil to key programs. So therefore, the direct benefit of oil is actually translated down into programs that will impact people. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you're drinking. If you're drinking something, let me have a drink with me as well. And while I'm here, I just want to say that tomorrow night I'm going to have Mr. Antwain Campbell. Tomorrow night I will have Antwain Campbell, the president of the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party. That is this Sunday, August the 25th, 8 p.m. UK time. And that's going to be 2 p.m. Jamaica time. We're going to talk about um, the vision. We're going to talk about the work that he does, talk about his party, and talk about some new developments which he's talking about there, whereby they have got some permission to go into the prison and to do some work there as well. Yeah. So tomorrow night, what I'm trying to do is, as much as possible, get in some of these persons from these these new parties, and to give them that opportunity to speak. Yeah. So therefore, so as we continue there, so you got United Arab Emirates, then you got Saudi Arabia. You know, these countries are rich. You know why these countries are rich? Because of oil. Because can you imagine? Can you imagine if Jamaica touched that? Good management and bad management. But what these countries have to their benefit? Oil. Citizen benefits and subsidies. Saudi Arabia does not distribute oil profit directly as cash to its citizens, but the government heavily subsidized many aspects of daily life, including energy, water, education. Additionally, the government provides financial support through various programs such as housing loans and social welfare payments. Saudi Vision 2030, a plan to diversify the economy, also include initiatives to increase citizen ownership in the economy through stock allocation and other benefits. And then we got Iran as well. Target subsidized plan in 2020, Iran implemented a program that replaced energy subsidies with direct cash payment to citizens. This was partially funded by oil revenues, while the program has faced challenges. It prevents an attempt to distribute oil wealth directly to the people. I'm gonna bring in Mr. Uche, and Uche, you've got to really forgive me sometimes, because your name is so awesome that sometimes you'll have to be the one that give us a good lesson in that awesome pronunciation. Is that correct, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Thank you for having me. Yes, well, my mother pronounced my name Hoje, right? But many persons say Uj, Uj, but it's fine. The official pronunciation is Oj.
Well, listen, I have no problem with that, because Sean Brown, who is here, who I went to school with at York Castle, these guys used to call me every different name. They used to call me Sly Girl, Silly Girl, Silly Wonder, City Girl, City Gal, and everything like that. I used to get so many different names, man. I even sometimes I was having some issues with a case over the weekend, just a couple of days ago, and the solicitor, she keep writing to me and calling me Sly Burn, and I said, oh, you keep saying Sly Burn. But that's no problem, you know. The most important thing is done in good faith. How are you? What are you drinking? What are you drinking, sir? So Sean
Uh,
Brown laughing. He's laughing at me.
well, I'm on smoothie.
You're on smoothie. Okay, fantastic. Well, listen, I want to thank you for joining, because tonight I just did some research, and I really wanted to, Uche, I wanted to really home in on to, because I keep hearing this thing about oil being founded in Jamaica, and there's this big thing about oil and videos going around and people saying oil, and when people start sending me things, it's like they want me to really look into it. And what I was thinking, what if oil is found, and what if it is there? How does it benefit directly? I don't even say Jamaica, Jamaicans. 1962, and I keep saying this all the while, 1962, when the process of independence started, because I'm one person who don't jump up and down and say we're independent. I say it's a process towards independence. I always say that in 1962, if the people and the powers that be were really genuine about the people, they should have started a process called land distribution. Not
Yeah.
in redistribution, no, land distribution, letting the people to start off with something, giving them some wealth. And so, therefore, that's why tonight I want to talk about this whole thing regarding um, the oil. But then I go back again and think about tourism. I go back to all the different other industries, bauxite. You know, are the people directly benefiting? What's your take on this? Sorry, put you in the deep end.
That- That's fine. And I must say thanks for having me once more, and greetings to your audience likewise. All right, so I you're correct. We can compare if, because the talk about oil, there has not been any conclusive, according to the powers there be, there has not been any conclusive evidence that there is actually oil found offshore of Jamaica. So it's a probability, or it's a possibility. They are testing some samples, right, to see if it meets the market requirement,
Yeah,
right? But it's not a guarantee. But to me, I am watching, the development, and I'm listening to all of the talks,
yeah,
right? And something is really, it's to me like a smoke and a mirror kind of thing, because people are able to now estimate the amount of barrels they could get, right? And they start to put revenue to it. So I'm saying, how can you then estimate the amount of something if there is no conclusive evidence that it exists? You understand? So I'm kind of in the dark. I'm trying to wonder what's the reason for this, because they say that they have gone to test samples, right?
yeah,
It is oil, right? They're going to test some samples. The drilling has not started yet, right?
mm,
It has not started yet. So how is it that you are then able to estimate the amount of barrels you could get from such a depository, and to put even the cost, how much it would cost, or what is the profit, the revenue that would generate from it? So I'm watching this carefully, right? I would hope that the findings come back positive, that yes, it is oil, but that is just the beginning of it, right? Oil discovery is a game changer. If we study all the countries in the world that, you know, their main economic activity, or the things that drive their economy, is oil, the
yeah,
process, mining and selling oil. Those countries tends to be some of the wealthiest country, or wealthier countries in the world. So
yeah,
finding oil is a game changer. However, if they are not, if certain structures are not in place politically, um, then it can be just another discovery that ultimately doesn't benefit the Jamaican people, right?
yeah,
Looking at Guyana, for example, Guyana, I was reading an article about Guyana, and I think one of the member of parliament over there was saying that even though Guyana has found oil, right, and their economy is growing, the effects of this blooming economy is still not felt by the average Guyanese. You understand?
Yes.
So we here in Jamaica may suffer the same fate, right? If we don't have certain political structure in place, it can be just another form of exploitation.
When you say, okay, when you say like politicals, sorry, and ladies and gentlemen, let me just pinpoint that Mr. Uh, Mr. Hutchinson is the vice president of the Diplomatic Democratic Party. Vice president of the Diplomatic Democratic Party. Can you tell us about that party, sir?
All right. So the Diplomatic Democratic Party
Yeah.
is it's a new age political movement. We don't really want to say political party because party is somewhere where you go to have fun and nothing serious. It's just a fun thing. So unfortunately, we have to use the word party, but it's really a political movement, a new age political movement of youthful, minds who has seen the shortcomings of the other political parties and is trying to craft a political system and a model that will improve on the shortcomings. It's pretty much like you're watching systems operate and you are studying it carefully, and the things that they fall short on, you create an alternative system to improve on that, right? So the diplomatic Democratic Party, we are hoping to become registered soon. We are not yet registered, right? We are going through the requirements from the ECJ, right? So we have drafted our manifesto, our bylaws, we've drafted our constitution. We are even in the process of drafting the Constitution of Jamaica, right? And we're also in the process of collecting those signatures, because that is the most tedious part of the registration of a political party or movement, the collection of
Mm.
signatures. So we are going through that process, right? So we have built out our national executive, right? And we
Yeah.
have drafted our mission and our vision. And again, it is centered around the unification. The main message of the Diplomatic Democratic Party is to unite all Jamaicans. It doesn't matter of your political affiliation. It doesn't.
Yeah.
We are overstepping political boundaries, right? We are dealing with our issue as a nation, as a collective. We are very big on unity, right? That is the
So you're in a sense draining the swamp, but not draining the swamp.
correct.
So okay. So what is this political what should I say, foundation or basis that need to be in place in a sort of protective way regarding if oil is found and if oil becomes a reality, because we got to be prepared. We can't wait until it happens on us. We got to think in advance. But what is this political way that you believe should be the protective way?
When I say political structure, I mean, currently the decisions that are made so currently we have a democratic problem in Jamaica currently, because when your government is formed by a small amount of the populace,
Mm.
then you really have a democratic crisis. You understand? The voice of the mass is not represented, right?
Yes.
And so that will have to change, because if that doesn't change, then we're still going to have decisions being made by a minority group that doesn't represent the majority, right? And in that, you also have opportunity for the continuing of corruption, political nepotism, right?
Mm.
Structural discrimination, all of these things that is at play currently in the political system and structure that we have. These things would have to be addressed, right? the constitutional reform process will have to, that process will have to be properly reformed to ensure that certain things are now transformed into rights of citizens, such as, own a piece of land, whatever
Yes.
whatever natural resource is found on the island, a percentage of the profit goes towards every single citizen. These things will have to become a part of the constitution. You understand? So that the country can operate as a unit. Because what is happening now, there's a lot of segregations, and a lot of legislation causes these segregation as well. So the entire political structure, right, and these things that I single out will have to change, right? Because we risk what is happening in Guyana happening in Jamaica, where the
Mm.
resource oil is there. The economy is said to be the fourth fastest growing economy in the world,
That's
right? But
Ghana.
yes, but then the average Guyanese
Not
still
seeing that.
to make twins meet.
Okay. Just I'm just sharing this bit here, which is in the was July the 12th. Long search for oil. There we begin to hope again. There we begin to hope again. After almost 8 decades, he says, after almost 8 decades, searching for oil on and offshore Jamaica, the people behind the latest phase of the exploration, while clearly trying to contain themselves, are behaving suspiciously, as if they know something the rest of us are waiting to hear. Earlier this year, British-owned United Oil and Gas and the Jamaican-owned PCJ, Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, took the bold step of organizing an investor evening at Jamaica High Commission in London. It was the biggest indication yet that the principals are ready to sign partnership for commercialization and production of the estimated 7 billion barrels of oil that they have apparently confirmed. News has been slow to trickle back to Jamaica and has certainly not hit the front page. But those who have been doggedly following the search, which began officially in the 1950s, would have noticed that the excitement has reached levels not seen before. Have there been excitement?
Um, I'm not sure about excitement. More like concerns. More like
More like
concerns.
concert, yeah.
Yeah, more like concerns. Persons are wondering what is really happening because the prime minister, I can't recall he's saying anything yet on the matter. I'm not sure if he has, right? Um, I have not really heard any official press release from the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica either, right? And
Mm,
they are the body that is set up to monitor and manage
yeah,
these developments, right? Again, I can stand corrected if they have said anything, but I, with my ears on the ground, I have not heard anything yet from them, right? So it's pretty much like the people are in suspense rather than being excited because we don't know what to expect. Because again, the message is not clear. You just
yeah.
read that it has been confirmed, right?
Mm,
So signing of deals are taking place, right?
yes,
Commercialization, etc. Right. However, on the other flip side, if you probably continue to read in that same article, it talks about samples being tested and so on and so forth. So it is not confirmed. So
yeah.
it is a mixed message going on, right? And so the people is more concerned rather than excited.
So therefore, as you rightly said a while ago, the oil has been quoted as saying the largest repository within its widest zones of oil exploration offshore Jamaica was potentially worth 3.5 trillion US 23 billion at 100% working interest. Is it like, I don't know, sometimes you got nations, you got politicians, sometimes they make these, or they as the topic said, dare to hope. They give you a samphire, it's like a samphire business, like something to make you hold on, like, and say, yeah, man, things are going nice and blah blah blah. You don't know. You don't know. I mean, right now there's someone in hype going on regarding America, because America is now taking over the airwave. Everybody calling about America, and and even Sir Cartel. There's no disrespect to Sir Cartel, that people are maybe missing out on maybe people are seeing the smoke, or maybe there's some fire there, or whatever like that. But I just believe that there's got to be a level of saneness and to really be aware and be alert that you're not being distracted and certain things happen. And as you rightly say, if these things happen right now under the present watch, then dog them or supper if there are not certain things in place,
Exactly.
especially like the constitution reform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
And yeah, go
thing,
on. Yeah.
the same thing will happen, right? The rich, the wealthy, the private sector, they are the ones that will benefit mainly from this. And again, if we don't have a caring, responsible leader or leadership or government, right, there's nothing in it for the people, right? Because that's how the whole system works. You understand? The rich and the wealthy, they will do what they need to do to remain wealthy and powerful, right? And while simultaneous, try to keep the mass oppressed and
So
depressed.
it's yeah. So is it a bit like ganja, marijuana? Like when marijuana came on the scene. Well, marijuana has been on the scene for a long time, but when it became legalized, all of a sudden some key personnel sort of move in right away and lick out the other guys. The amount of it was there for a long time.
Exactly. Exactly. The amount of prosecution and persecution that the Rastafari community underwent, right, under the to deal with marijuana. And since the commercialization or since legislation passed to, make it profitable, right, the big man step in, and now the license costs millions of dollars,
Mm,
right? You understand? So it's crazy. It's crazy. The rich will move in to capitalize on this, and that is why the function of government is very important. You are there to protect the people and to draft policies and procedures and legislation to ensure that the citizens, not just a part of it or portion, or the rich, the entire citizenry benefits from whatever resource or whatever action is taken by the
yes,
government.
yes. Yeah. Wayne, how are you from Canada? Nice, you coming on. The bits that I was talking about a while ago, and I was reading to some bits which are research about the different countries which have programs in place to benefit the people.
Mhm,
I touched on Norway, Alaska,
mhm,
Kuwait, Abu Dhabi, Saudi Arabia. I didn't reach around to Iran, Libya as yet. But what's
mhm.
what's your take about the direct direct effect or handed down to the people? But at the same time, isn't it fair, just like with tourism, isn't it fair, like even with bauxite, that jobs were created in the whole process? Isn't it fair that with the whole advent of oil, that jobs will be created at the same time? Um, they talk about job creation, skill development, diversification of the economy, boost to GDP, skill enhancement, you know, um, social and community development. These are some nice sayings which I'm talking about, But
Mhm.
but do you believe then that, in a sense, and I put it to you and I put it to anyone, that Jamaicans will be directly benefiting, even though maybe not getting the money in their pocket?
All right. So, to reference tourism, there will be some level of benefit, right? If you're in the industry, right, you'll benefit, and it also depends on your role in the industry because we know tourism don't really pay proper. Well, it doesn't pay good to the ordinary Jamaican, right? So it also depends on your role in the tourism ministry, right? But yes, there'll be some level of employment opportunity for the marginalized or for the unemployed, right? But at this, but at the same time, um, people will be paid a salary or a wage that cannot be compared to inflation. It is powerless, right?
Yeah.
So there will still be that poverty aspect of it, right? The system will have to be balanced properly. You understand? And again, as I said, oil is a game changer, right?
Mm,
But the system can work if the policy makers draft the system so that the people benefit. But yes, if oil is found, there are employment opportunity, right? Because development of skills and all the drilling and the whole, yeah, a lot of opportunity will be created and jobs, right? But at the end of the day, the same thing may happen, right? You're paying these people minimum wage, you're paying them a salary that they are not able to make two ends meet. You
mm,
understand? So at the end of the day, they probably will still be at the same at square one,
mm.
right? So we'll have to create the system to make it work properly, because and no system is perfect, right?
Yes.
However, you have countries who are able to meet the needs of their citizens. You name a few just now: Norway, Alaska, the UAE, Saudi Arabia. All of these countries whose economy is driven by the production of oil, right?
Yes.
Able to provide certain services to the citizenry, right? A lower cost of energy, like the utility bill is low, right? They get certain, amenities and certain essential services are easily accessible, etc. Right? So these are some of the things that we are hoping for, right? But
Yeah.
we can't have the potential um, booming of the economy through oil, and we still remain a poor country, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah, it's very interesting. What you're saying there, and if I zero in on Libya, under the Gaddafi regime, I don't know what it is now. You know, direct distribution proposal before the 2011 civil war.
Mm,
Gaddafi had proposed plans. He had proposed plans to distribute oil wealth directly to Libyan citizens in the form of cash payments. However, the implementation of such plan was inconsistent and marred by political and economic instability. Yeah. So that was one of his plans, and I believe those are some of the background with the word political upheaval, and rightly so, as you said, that there need to be a political framework in place that people can actually benefit from the advent of oil production, because they were talking about gold in Jamaica, didn't they?
yeah.
Or that was a fake thing.
To be honest, to be honest, I think it is gold. I think it is gold because it is being mined. Um, I would have to get some concrete evidence.
Yeah.
But I think because the government, I know for a fact, decided to take 5% of the profit, right? 5% of the profit. Um, and I'm not. I don't think C3 metal in C3 metal in Canada is going to be wasting its resources to
Yes.
drill or mine something that is not valuable on the international market. You
That's a
understand?
gold. That's a gold, guys.
Yes,
Mm.
right. So they're mining, right? So whatever they're mining and exporting must be of some value for them to be continuously mining it. You understand? However, our government has decided to take a very insignificant percentage. You know, again, these are some of the things we have to overcome. We have to fix. We have to fix, because in the event this company in England did, in the event that this company in England is saying that yes, it is oil and it is at the quality of the international market, right? What will the deal be between the
Yeah.
PC, right? The
Piece of
PC
shit.
and these investors. What will the deal be? And more than likely, it will be what it has always been: just exploitation, enriching the pockets of the private sector and politicians, and the average Jamaicans will not
watching
benefit.
watching on the sideline, like in the bleachers thing. Um, Boko Faso, is it Boko Faso in Africa?
Burkina
Uh,
Faso.
yeah, yeah, they're also talking about this whole thing because that is what is happening. Because it always beggars belief when I think about Nigeria, for argument's sake, and old Shell, is in there and just reaping and just benefiting as well. Of course, the players in the market, in the sense of the leadership, in some respect, get their backhand, you know, in a sense. And how do you see your young bright mind and a futuristic Jamaica? Um, there's an election which is pending coming up soon. They're saying that they need to call it sooner than later. Elections all over the world. We in the UK just had an election. We also had we're having a leadership election for the Conservative Party very soon in November. In America, you're gonna have November. Then Jamaica is gonna be, you know, in light of an election in Jamaica, do you think it will make much of a major difference moving from one party to the other party without certain constitutional things in place? Or
Uh,
yeah,
Things, I'm afraid that things will remain pretty much the same as it has always been, right? Yeah, we have been we have been, oscillating political oscillation, from the inception of these political parties, right? And we have gotten pretty much same of the same, right? So we are in, I'm afraid, but we are in a political crisis, because when you find yourself, um pretty much your back is against the wall, because our backs are against the wall, literally or politically, right? Because when the date is called, we still will have to make a political decision
mm,
as to who will form the next government, right? And based on the statistics, a large portion of Jamaicans are shying away from the old democratic process. You understand? So we're going to still have the masses of the Jamaican populace, um, being directed or led by a minority leader
leader, yeah.
in our government. So we are really in a political crisis, and I am not seeing where Andrew Holness or Mark Golding is speaking the language, because people are becoming aware as to what can be done better. You understand? We are aware that we have a land issue in this country. A lot of
Mm,
persons are without land. A lot of persons have difficulties to get a home for their family. A lot of
mm,
persons are without water. Their community doesn't have the infrastructure to provide water to them, right? We have issues with energy, JPS, the monopoly. You understand? We have these issues to deal with, and they are still not talking the language of the
mm,
people. They're
mm,
not talking the language of the people. Or will they change this entrenched colonial system, or will they change it to truly represent the interests of the Jamaican people? They are not talking the language. You understand? They're not talking the language. So we are in serious trouble, right? And that is why I'm really calling for the Jamaicans to unite. We have a country to fix. We have a country to fix. We have a future to secure, not necessarily for ourselves, but for our generation to come. You
mm.
understand? We have work to do. We cannot afford to be living so reckless and so docile, when it comes down to matters that is very, very important and even vital to our sustenance as a nation. You understand? I'm
No,
just
yeah, yeah. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, and even I think we're speaking the other day. I don't know, we're talking about the whole advent of crime. We're talking about the killing of the 8 persons in Clarendon, And I think I heard there was another shooting of 8 people again, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. Is that? I was confused if it was the same thing. Is a different thing?
a different thing.
What was that? That's what of shooting or did they die or what?
I'm not sure if all eight
Mm.
persons were well, I don't think they are dead, but there was a shooting at. We have a reggae artist by the name of Christopher Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, his grandmother set up. They call it wake.
Wait,
Um,
yeah, 99.
yeah, nine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Mm.
thing which resulted in some persons being injured. Um, Not sure if any persons died as a result, but
Mm.
there was a shooting there. Not sure what instigated that attack as well.
Yeah.
I've been so busy trying to get things, so not privileged with all the information. But yes, we are having a lot of shootings, these kind of shootings.
Do you think that the political leadership have a key role to play in making it better by them speaking with the same voice instead of one saying something, the other saying something? The SO, what they call it, the state of emergency bit, they're not on equal ground. Then is it there's a need for them to be coming together and have a collective crime plan, just like we got they talk about Vision 2030, and that is a bipartisan approach. Should there be a coming together of Mark Golding, PNP, Andrew Holness, JLP, Marcus Garvey Party, yourself, and you guys? As a matter of fact, they really need to sort of bring in all the different stakeholders and not collectively trying to zap the power of these new political parties or these new parties which are trying to take a play. Because you have said earlier, and I've seen the figures and I've seen the numbers, whereby it was 37% of the on the electoral register, which was 1.9 million who voted at the last general election. 37%, and I believe it was 700 and so people in total voted. 300 and something for I think the PNP and 400 and something for the JLP. So therefore, 37% of the electoral register of the people voted. And as you rightly say, that is a minority leading the country. And therefore, and we mentioned 1.9 million on the electoral register, but there's also 3 million in the country. So therefore, Jamaica is being led officially by a minority government, and therefore there's this massive constituency of people who don't want to vote and don't have time to vote, but they are being affected directly at the same time. You know, so therefore, you believe that there should be a coming together of them to speak from one voice and just say whether we win or not. That's the policy that they are going through.
Yeah, but again, they will always try to it will be good for us to see that, right? There needs to be a table where everybody is welcome to sit and we discuss this issue of crime and violence. But let us not fool ourselves. They know exactly what to do, right? They know exactly what to do, and it could be a case where they purposefully don't want to do these things because at the end of the day, crime is a scapegoat or it is used to mass political power. You understand? So they will not try to fix it properly for the country and for the citizens to be safe and for the diaspora members to who wish to return to Jamaica because there are a lot of diaspora members who wants to come back to Jamaica to live for the rest of
Mm,
their life. But when they look at crime, you
mm,
come, you're in fear. You understand? Because man, you just a return. He might go give you a visit. You understand? He might give you a visit. So they know exactly what to do. And I will always reference El Salvador, the strategy
Mm.
that Bukele used to make El Salvador one of the most safe country in the world now, from one of the from the most violent
Silent. Yeah.
to one of the most safest country
Mm.
in less than, from 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, in less than 5 years, a country that has a history of gang violence.
So
In
there's a will. There's a
I,
will. There's a determination, and and he was being very well. They were. He couldn't be by himself only, but by a collective. They were being very intentional in saying we've got to sort this out. But I think the advantage with him was that he came in from outside in, and he wasn't within.
exactly, exactly.
He wasn't within. so,
And
so
that is what I'm
yeah,
saying right now. That is why one of my message is the leadership that Jamaica needs is not currently within Gordon House. It is not.
uh,
So from outside, we'll have to come, we'll have to intervene and do things right. That is a chance. That is the only chance. But they were in the system from Devla Boy. I
from
don't
God,
see,
from God away cocky.
yeah, I don't see where the people will entrust in them the power or even assist them to get this done, because as that what Mr. Bukele did, one of his strategy was to investigate, was to
All of it.
investigate all his ministers. Neither
Yes.
Andrew Holness nor Mark Golding will do that. Who
Mm.
will investigate them? Because the body that the prime minister set up, or the government set up as an anti-corruption or anti-corruption watchdog, the Integrity Commission, they got them.
And one of the things that the former minister of information always used to say, they always say they are creatures of parliament. Creatures of parliament mean to say that they are created by parliament and therefore they can take them out at the same time. And that is really so unfortunate, which is these guys or these organizations or these structures should be they're holding the government at fray and to be accountable, not to the government, but accountable to the people of Jamaica, to be our voice. The question I've got to ask is, so who, well, people will say that the government or the different political parties speak up for the people, because right now you've got political activists who are JLP, political activists who are PNP. But then again, we are finding ourselves in a situation again, as we discussed, that there are still a minority percentage of people who are these diehard activists. The
Yeah.
majority is not. But the question is, who is speaking up for the majority of Jamaicans? Where is the public defender? In the light of JPS and Jamaica Public Service saying, I'm sorry, we forget to tell the people, I'm sorry, increase the thing. We got this bill and it is all correct. And it's like it done. And I'm saying to myself, man, if this was France, the place burned down long time. You know what I mean? People would be demonstrating, coming out of them yard and say, you got to roll it back. You made a mistake, you got to roll it back. I forgot. I said, I can't recall. That,
Exactly.
that's a shame, Uche.
It's very much disgusting. And as I shared with you earlier, the more we become aware as a nation, it's the more we become non-responsive. Right? We sit back and we are within our homes, and we are disgruntled, we are perplexed or frustrated, right? But yet still, where is the action to say, hey, we're not accepting this. We're not
Yeah,
accepting this. We need to transmit the
yeah.
frustration from within our homes and bring it out in the public spaces. Not necessarily in a violent way, but we can peacefully bring our concerns to the government and say, hey, this is unacceptable. You understand?
I think a fantastic thing would be, and I thought about it so many times. A fantastic thing would be like if something of this nature happened, that people just decide and say, "I'm now going to work, they're now going to work," and something like go and stand up in front of them house, and everybody just come out, and then you'll have a national thing whereby the drones and aircraft will look and say, my God, a country like Jamaica, all the people have stand up and say they're not going to do something. They're against certain things. That would be so awesome. But people have to be inspired to do that, Uche.
Very
People have
much.
to see. People have to got a reason to do that.
We
When
have,
Marcus, sorry, go on. I'll come back here.
yeah, we have more than reasons. We have more than reasons. Currently, and I maybe not mm, all right, so currently we are trying to send a message to JPS that we are not paying that we're not going to be paying this increase for August. So our team is trying to organize a protest action
Yes.
for the upcoming week, right? We will have to have we're going to have a discussion tomorrow as to what the logistics will look like and so on and so forth. But we are thinking of protesting against these things. The toll increased the other day, right? Because
Total increase again.
yeah, the Portmore toll increased the other day,
Yes.
right? So things are increasing, and it is because it is in the concession, whatever the agreement was between the government and the trans highway Jamaica, right? Over they have the power to increase the fare based on whatever condition they deem as fit. You understand? And JPS people were without lights for weeks, and the bill increased. What? Why? Why? Why the bill increase? And you're forcing. And then I heard one of the um, senior workers in JPS, pretty much she's saying that, hey, it have to pay. It have to pay. And it has to. So again, the people are not getting value for money,
And
but yet
the people are being disrespected.
being disrespected behind it. You understand? So as I said, we are here. We have a lot of things to stand up for. We have a lot of things, but I don't know. As you said, the people need an inspiration, but these things are inspiration enough. These things should be. These things are self-inspired. You understand?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
affects. It
Yeah.
affects my community. It is affecting my parish. It is affecting my neighbor parish. Let's pull together. But again, we don't have an effective communication network. Remember, we were talking the other day about
But
the
Marcus
communication.
Garvey. Yeah.
Yes, we don't. So if we in Kingston decide to protest, more than likely Montego Bay or Westmoreland will not hear about it because of poor communication. You know?
Let's go back. Let's talk about poor communication. I mean, we're in the advent of social media. We're in the advent of bloggers. Things move so very quick and so fast these days. When the earthquake hit the other day, I was able to map it, and I even felt it myself in the UK. Somebody just said, "Bam! It's happening in Ocho. Bam! It's happening in Old Harbour." And I was saying Old Harbour, and then people are saying it's happening in Kingston, and I'm saying, "Man, I'm in the UK and I even feel it because of things were moving so fast." Instantly, people were just talking about it. Uche, you know, uh, Marcus Garvey, and we spoke about Marcus Garvey. And I'll have the president of Marcus Garvey tomorrow night. Well, Marcus Garvey, what he had to his advantage at that time in order to mobilize people was because there was a felt need. We're in the era of colonialism and slavery coming out of that. So therefore, people needed freedom. Freedom was the factor. There was no freedom. So therefore, everyone were gravitating to the light that would bring us freedom. Now, it is like Harriet Tubman when she said, if people know that they're incarcerated or in slavery, but they
Yes.
didn't, yeah. So therefore, it is that people of Jamaica need to recognize that they're having a raw deal, need to recognize that they are disrespected, need to recognize that better is there, but they have to come out and do something collectively because unfortunately, Uche, the minority that comes out are easily picked off.
Exactly.
So therefore, you need a groundswell of people to rise up. So therefore, with the unfortunate bit with social media and everything, there's a lot of noise, and but it's like there's no sort of coordinated action.
And that is what I'm saying. The communication, right? We have to create a communication system, right? While in the earthquake, this is a natural event, right? So
Mm.
persons react a different way,
Yes,
right?
yes.
For communication to travel through a political constituency, maybe a JLP stronghold constituency, or through a PNP stronghold constituency, um, you may have challenges with protesting against the government,
Mm.
uh, if communication needs to travel through a JLP constituency. You understand?
Yes,
Because they're going to shut that down. They will not participate, right? It may work well through a PNP constituency because yes, they want to get in power, so they
yes.
will take against the government, right? So a fabulous idea just came to my mind, right? I probably have to scope it out some more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's a lot of political barriers that may hinder, and a lot of, truth be told, Mr. Silburn, truth be told, the
Come a,
church,
come a sly burner or city girl or city one. Okay,
no
go on.
problem, right? And truth be told, the church has a very important role to play in this, right? Back in the days, as you made mention of the colonial era,
Mm.
right? The church, Paul Bogo was a Baptist deacon,
Mm.
right? A lot of Martin Luther King was a member of the church. All of these civil rights activists, right?
Yes.
They came out of the church, right? However, their message was not centered around this event bound, prosperity preaching. It was about the change in the whole moral fabric of the society. It's about
Of
values and norms,
the present living, not the after living, but the present
exact
living.
present living,
Mm.
right? And so nowadays the church is just on steroids, prosperity, the big car, the big house, and the after living, right? And we're not concerned a bit about the suffering of the nation. You understand? When you have pastors, not to digress, when you have pastors, right, presiding over a congregation of of ill people, right? Persons who are struggling to make two ends meet, right? But they take the tithes and the offering and they don't use it to uplift their congregation, right? It is similar to what the government is doing, taking the taxpaying dollars from the citizenry and not using it to uplift the country, but rather to enrich themselves and to fill their coffers, right? And so the church has a major role to play because the church is a very big social institution in Jamaica. Because according to the statistics, we have the most churches per square kilometer in the
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the church, I believe, the church can lead some of these charges as well. When the government act in a manner that is out of best interest of the people, the church need to come out and take a stand. You understand? Because they too are citizens. They too, they go out and vote as well, right?
Mm.
But they belong to the institution of the church. So they too can come out and lead certain charge. JPS said that we have to pay the highlight bill. The church can come out and say, hey, on this day, we are starting a protest. We are going down to JPS head office. And we are going to say we need to speak with the director. We need to
Yeah.
speak with the board of director as to why we need to pay this. We need to have a discussion. These things
Mm.
are not happening. They're not
Yes.
happening. You understand? And
Yes.
I want
Yes.
where we jump in a taxi or jump in a vehicle and go down there with my placard. I look like a mischief maker.
Yes. Because
You
you're
know,
just one person,
I'm one
or two
person.
or three.
You
Mm.
know, and these things are things that must be done as a collective. You understand? But again, when communication has to travel through areas where the people has no interest in this kind of thing, it makes it difficult. You understand? So like an earthquake, everybody felt it. It is a natural event. Nobody can do anything about it, right? So everybody just communicated. But when you're deciding to take action against an entity or the government for a particular action, when that communication has to travel through areas where people don't have the inspiration, they don't see, it's not affecting, according to them, it's not affecting them, but in reality, it's affecting them.
Yes.
It makes it challenging.
So, and I ask for people can also respond to this. So, what is it then that can wake up the people from their slumber? Well, it depends. Are they in a slumber, or are they just walking zombies, or what can wake people up then from their slumber at this present moment? What is it can wake them? Because we already established that a hurricane, or sorry, the earthquake was a natural thing, so people reacted there. But we're talking about something like um, the JPS bit. We're talking about the oil bit. We're talking about the bauxite bit. We're talking about the what we talk the the constitution reform thing, which seemed like a dead thing. It's like it goes through a phase sometime with this constitution reform whereby enough noise make up, and then it go die down, and then they come back around. It's like in the UK they had this thing called the poll tax. Poll tax was something which was going to come on under the Margaret Thatcher time, and then they put that poll tax thing out, and people come out and make noise and ray and jump up and ray and demonstrations, and then they change it to become a council tax. So therefore, a smaller version, and therefore that is it still came through still as a council tax. So
Yeah.
so the thing is about is what is it can actually mobilize people not to lie back and to wake up and not to sleep while these things are happening, because so many distractions will come. Independence Gala, cartel, Kamala.
Mhm.
Everybody's jumping over Kamala now. Yes, we have a first black woman Jamaican. I think they don't excite me, sir.
We have to I don't think apart from the recent shootings, right? I don't think there's anything else that could be more worst that could really wake us up as a nation, right? And we still is not waking up, right? We still is not waking up. Recently they shot a young soldier in Denham Town. I think it was 2 days ago, right? These things are happening, gunmen, and again, and if crime and violence, political corruption is not adequate to wake the nation up from their sleep,
Mm,
I don't know what will wake them up. I really don't know what will wake them up, right?
mm,
I don't know if it is that seven magnitude earthquake that is Jamaica should be watching out for, right? Because we are going to see the real underbelly. I'm fearful every day. I'm just hoping that I am with my loved ones when this happen, if it should happen, right? Because we are going to see the real underbelly of a system that has not been caring for the needs of the people over the years. We have no system in place. If Jamaica should experience an earthquake over seven, a magnitude earthquake over a magnitude of over seven, then it's an earthquake. It's going to be disastrous. It's going
mm,
to be disastrous. The already failing healthcare system, what can it do
mm.
if this should happen, right? And billions of dollars are siphoned off into politicians,
Mm.
right? And these things, these
Allege.
right, siphoned off. We don't have need to say allegedly, because if I entrust something in your keep and it goes missing, who come and take it?
I
Who come
saw
and
I saw the other day, because I can be busy doing different things because my profession, and I pick up different email and pictures, and I saw this guy Royal Reed and the Minister of Education, and I'm saying to myself, "Wow, wow, wow, wow!" That not look good. You know what I mean? But is it that people have just become seared to the whole thing, and it's just like a normal thing now? No big deal. There's just clear disrespect to the people of Jamaica, slap in the face, bam, bam, take that and go to business.
Yeah.
Don't people make noise. I mean, people can make noise, and I hear it through bloggers, but is there not a sort of repulsiveness? People feeling repulsed. The key elders, and I'm going to actually invite Ronnie Tway to talk about this. We discussed this briefly when I was in Jamaica, but where the senior elders seeing these things and coming out and saying it is repulsive, it shouldn't be. These things shouldn't happen. Don't disrespect the people of Jamaica, and that's why I believe the next government election is going to be one to watch, because I believe you know this present regime might lose, but at the same time, if things are not in place properly, then the next regime might find themselves in the same situation.
Same situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm not seeing Margolin really speaking the language of the people in the parliament. You
Mm.
understand? I'm not seeing it. We're not seeing it. Not seeing it at all.
Yeah. Well, listen, Uche. Before we go, I just want to ask you, are you supporting Kamala Harris? Are you out there, out there, um, hitting pot cover or something like that?
Nothing like that. I understand America politics to a level, right? And I watch the interest of the candidates, right?
Mm.
Um, America is also in a little bit of political crisis as well, because on one hand you have Donald Trump,
Mm.
and the other hand you have Kamala. And based on Kamala's campaign, she is really, campaigning for that protected community, right? We know the community, right? As the first, and I hear a lot of persons, a lot of Americans, African Americans coming out and saying, as the potential first black president, female,
Female,
right?
yeah, female, yeah. Mm.
Female black president, you are promoting the lifestyle that goes against
Certain things.
our community, right?
Mm.
That it well, right? And for me, that is a red flag right there, right?
Mm.
That is a red flag. I don't endorse her one bit. You understand? Because again, Trump will tell you there was a lot of black people incarcerated um, when she was
Attorney General or
yes, right. Much done for African America under her time as attorney general. You understand? So it's the same thing. As some people would say, it probably would be like an Obama wearing skirt, something of that sort. But I wish them all the best in the election. But America is in trouble because Trump, on the other hand, is working with a particular agenda, right? Kamala is working with an agenda, and at the end of the day, if you listen to the speeches, the campaign that they have been having, it's politics. So how much time she mentioned Trump in our mouth for the entire time, versus looking at the issues that is really impacting America.
people
Right?
of America. Mm.
Yeah, you don't hear that much, but it's just shooting at Donald Trump, and likewise Trump shooting over the other side, right? So if you listen to the thing, you will understand it's just smoke and mirror,
Mm.
right? They're not talking about inflation. They're not talking about making America the place where people can, because there are a lot of poverty and a lot of issues in America as well. They're not
Mm.
talking things.
So,
They're
so,
not.
what you're saying is like there's a key opportunity which is here, but it's been missed because of the personal things, the personality issue, whereby there is hate on both sides. which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. And then you're missing out on the key aspect of things, which is the people. I was listening to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who joined Donald Trump, and he, he's very articulate, I must say. And what he was talking about was children and so like that. And he was really getting into some policy issues. And I saw that it was something which was missing in a way. It's and I hope that after this DNC bit and that they can really focus on key issues, really zeroing on those areas and move away from you know prosecuting Trump or blah blah blah. Because the thing about Trump, which people fail to understand, and I say it all the while, the best way to deal with Trump is ignore him. If you keep attacking Trump, he's like that movie Independence Day with Fresh Prince and Will Smith. Um, when they keep shooting at that massive spaceship, the more they attack the spaceship got bigger. And I always say focus on the policies. And I'm never one to say yes because the person is black, you just forget about everything. Yes, the person a lady, just forget about everything. Because whatever happened in America, whatever happened with if America cough or sneeze or whatever, Jamaica get a cold. We got this whole thing whereby things will impact us
Exactly.
depending on so there's an interest, but I'm not really into Trump or Kamala. I'm into policies. If
Exactly. Exactly.
policies, I'm into. I had a cousin here on the other night. One of her cousins. I had a quick interview with him from Brownstown. And it's great if she becomes the president. It'd be fantastic. But focus on issues. There are certain things that I like when we're here. But it's like,
And the Americans will have to deal with that.
Yes.
Their grounds. They'll have to do that, but they can't miss policies to focus on the personal attributes of the candidates.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Improvement in the policy. That is what they need to be focusing on, right?
Yeah.
But just the nasty side of politics, the only talk,
Yeah.
surface talk, nothing serious.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. And of course, tomorrow night, just want to say that I've got your mate, which you introduced me to, Antoine Campbell. And that's gonna happen at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock my time, 2 o'clock Jamaica time, because we're bank holiday this Monday. I don't know if you
Oh,
know what's a bank holiday in the UK. You know what's a
no,
bank holiday? I
no.
tell you what a bank holiday is. Bank holiday is when everybody get up early in the morning and go and line up in front of the bank, and the bank will just give you any money you want. That's called a bank holiday. Just go and line up in front of the bank, and the first 10 people get in, they get any money they want.
The first 10 people.
Yeah, get in the banks. Believe me.
That's
You don't
then
believe me?
I need to be in England before Monday.
I always tease people all the while, and that's what a bank holiday is. It's Carnival Monday. Carnival is Monday in the UK. Carnival is going to Carnival, but it's a bank holiday. They have it May Day bank holiday. You got August bank holiday as well. So yeah, that's what it is. I always tease people all the while that they go in front of the bank and you just withdraw the money you want. But anyway, on a final note, though, it's very good talking to you each time. And one of the things that you said you're going to be doing is a way of uniting with these other parties, these other minor parties, isn't it? To sort of have a coordinated movement.
Very important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is something which is happening and in play.
We are trying to before we really do that, we're thinking about it because it must happen, right? But we are thinking we are trying to complete our process, right? Getting things sorted within our camp, right? And then
Yes.
we form the coalition between other movements who have formed already, right? To form a united, effort in these things, right? So that is what we are doing. But the aim is to really unite, right? It's a
Yes.
must. It's a must. And the Jamaica people, I just want to lastly say that Jamaican people must be vigilant. Don't be fooled, don't be distracted by the recent release of Vibes Cartel and all the things that is happening around him, right? Or what is happening in America. Let us be vigilant as to what is happening within our country, because at the end of the day, right, if you're not aware, you could be a victim of whatever is happening. You have to be aware and unite. The person who has sing the same song as you, unite with them. If them not
Yeah.
sing the same, right, everybody will not see eye to eye. But at the end of the day, we have a marginalized mass of Jamaicans, right, who is not being represented politically. And we have to the mass that 63, that's 63%, right?
Yes.
63% need to unite. We need to unite around a common cause to really save our country from our people. Very important.
But as a song used to say, rally around the flag, rally around the red, gold, black, and green, or something like that. Rally around. So therefore, there's that very important opportunity for people not to slumber, but to wake up and so like that. Which, well, listen, thank you for coming on. It's early days in Jamaica. You still can go out and have some coconut, climb the tree and get some coconut.
Yeah.
You know.
And today
Thank you.
is
Sorry.
also my birthday.
Oh, today's your birthday,
Yeah.
24th of August. Well, happy birthday to you, man.
Thank you
Wish you
so
all the best. You know,
much.
have a drink on my, just tell him say my going to the bar and just tell him say me. All the best, sir, and take care of yourself. And I'm more than like you'll be joined tomorrow night if anything. Support. No, well, not join directly, but see Antoine tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Most
2
definitely.
o'clock. 2 o'clock your time.
Most
All right?
definitely. Yeah,
Peace
man.
out. God bless you, man.
Thanks to your audience.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thanks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. And as you can see, that the discussion of Jamaica is so crucial. The whole aspect of allowing things to happen and not take action. You can't afford to be actionless. And there are many different ways. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing a talk at some point on different ways of lobbying, something which I did some time ago, different ways of lobbying. And then finally, in regards to the whole aspect of oil, did they find oil in Jamaica? What they say, there's not been any confirmed large-scale commercial discovery of oil in Jamaica. However, there have been ongoing efforts to explore the possibility of oil and natural gas reserves. Exploration efforts, Jamaica has been exploring it for several decades. The PCG has been involved in these efforts. Systematic surveys and data collection have been conducted in various offshore and onshore areas to identify potential oil. Offshore exploration results so far, while there have been positive indicators such as the presence of hydrocarbons in certain geological information, no large-scale commercial reserve of oil have been confirmed yet. The Jamaican government has expressed interest in continuing to explore these possibilities, and there have been various agreements with international companies. As now, Jamaica remains in exploration phases. But what I'm talking about is to be ready. If it happens, and as what Uche says, let there be some political will and some political agreement and some political foundation in order to ensure that the people directly benefit. I touched on the different areas or different countries in the world who are benefiting so much from oil, like Norway, Alaska, United States, Kuwait, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, I mentioned that, Iran, Libya. While direct cash payments from oil profits are rare, many of these oil-rich countries use sovereign wealth funds or extensive social welfare programs to ensure that their citizens benefit from oil revenues. The approaches vary, with some countries providing direct dividends like Alaska and others offering extensive government funded services and subsidies like Norway and Kuwait. The effectiveness of these systems depends on government, transparency, and how well the wealth is managed for long-term sustainability. Very important that we do not miss that boat. Whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're a yard or so, you got to have an interest in this, which is very crucial. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, well, thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you for those on Instagram. Thank you for those on YouTube. Thank you for those on Facebook. And thank you for those on TikTok as well. Thank you so much. And as I said, tomorrow night I'll be having Mr. Antoine Campbell, president of the Marcus Garvey People's Political Party. He's 22 years of age. And rise up, you mighty people. That's very powerful. Rise up, you mighty people. That's a crucial term and crucial. So have a good night. God bless you and peace out. Thank you.